Good day, everyone. So our topic for today is about socio-cultural dimension of learning. So this is under facilitating learner-centered teaching. So I am Dr. Irvin Abrencilio. For our learning outcomes, first explain the socio-cultural dimensions of learning and discuss the role of social interactions, interpersonal relations, and communication in the learning process. So for our lesson outline, we have the introduction, social and cultural influences on learning, social development theory, the three major themes of social development theory, scaffolding, language, and the application of the Vygotsky's social development theory. So let us now begin with the introduction. So as stated, learning is influenced by social interactions, interpersonal relations, and communication with others. So as future teachers, you have to understand that um, our students are influenced by their social interaction. So meaning that they are interacting with each other. So that's the reason why from time to time they are communicating with one another, interpersonal relations and communication. So that's the essence of it, no? That our learners should learn how to communicate with others so that they can have a very good social interactions because learning is influenced by them. So learning can be enhanced when the learner has an opportunity to interact and to collaborate with others on instructional tasks. So that's the essence also of giving different group activities wherein students are given opportunity to interact with one another. So there will be group activities that you can give them, such as role playing, no, brainstorming activity, dramatization, and so on and so forth. So as long as there is a chance to for them to interact with one another and to collaborate with each other. So learning setting that allows social interactions and respect for diversity encourage flexible thinking and social competence. And that is one of the things in um, facilitating learner-centered teaching. Unlike the usual uh, teacher-centered teaching wherein the one at the center is the teacher and the method of teaching is a lecture method. So for learner-centered teaching, there are activities given to them, and students are given time for social interactions, and they are also given time about thinking, no, how to collaborate with each other. So let us talk about social and cultural influences on learning. So that's why the term is socio cultural dimension of learning. So in interactive and collaborative instructional context, individuals have an opportunity for perspective taking and reflective thinking that may lead to higher levels of cognitive, social, and moral development as well as self-esteem. So um, social and cultural influences on learning, explain that students should be given opportunity, they should be given opportunity for collaborative learning. There should also be reflective thinking because these are all important components for a more a higher level of cognitive, social, and moral development. So that also includes self-esteem. So just imagine, no, um, your students are just simply sitting down while they are all listening to you. Imagine the agony of students who would like to express themselves and would like to answer questions, but since you are, let's say, you are implementing a teacher-centered teaching, most of the time you are the one talking. Okay, so how can you develop the self-esteem of your students if they are not that exposed? They are not exposed in expressing themselves. They are not exposed um, in reaching their full potential or showing their talents, showing their skills. So quality personal relationships that provide stability, trust, and caring can increase the learner's sense of belonging, self-respect, and self-acceptance, and provide a positive climate for learning. So, as stated, no, students should be exposed to various activities, social interactions, so that all of these things, self-belongingness, self-respect, self-acceptance, will all be developed. Okay, so family influences, positive interpersonal support, and instruction in self-motivation strategies can offset factors that interfere with optimal learning, such as negative beliefs about competence in a particular subject, high levels of test anxiety, negative sex role expectations, and undue pressure to perform well. The point here is that, um, yes, it is accepted that there are negativity among individuals. So, halimbawa sa learners mo, no? So there are, let's say, they have anxiety, um, they are negative thinkers, they are actually not, they are always pressure and they are not doing well. However, all of this can be offset by a very good influence of the family. Halimbawa, um, magaling mag-motivate yung nanay or yung tatay, no? Or di kaya naman madami mga kaibigan that can motivate them. So the point is that that person, let's say you have a learner who's not doing well, this learner can be helped by other people, no? So the point is that somebody can help this person, hindi siya nag-iisa. Okay, so there is that family that can influence that person. Uh, may mga interpersonal support, may mga kaibigan, may mga barkada. So that's why studying is better if you are with a certain group. Okay, life could be better if you are in a certain group because you are not alone. Whatever you are thinking or whatever negative thinking that may run into your mind, no, lahat yan maalis because of family influences, influences of the friends, positive interpersonal support. So same thing with the learners, no. So you'll notice now there are, if you have 50 students, so you have 50 individuals, and there are people or there are students who are actually not doing well, and you have to give your extra time to them, and you have to ask other people also or other students to help their classmates. So positive learning climates can also help to establish the context for healthier levels of thinking, feeling, and behaving. Such contexts help learners feel safe to share ideas, actively participate in the learning process, and create a learning community. So that's about positive learning climate. So there are a lot of factors that can promote positive learning climate. So it could be the physical well-being of the classroom. Maayos ba ang mga upuan? Madumi ba? Malinis ba? Mabango ba? Is it properly ventilated? Then next thing there is the respect among each other. No, so these are all factors that can affect the the thinking, no, or the feeling or behaving of learners. So since you are, I think you are future teachers, no, because you are watching this video. This is the reason why teachers keep on preparing before the start of the school year. Naglilinis sila, no, naglilinis kami. Inaayos namin lahat ng records, inaalis yung mga luma, pinapalitan na ng mga bago, nagpipintura, nagpapalit ng cortina, because these are all, no, these things promote positive learning climates to the students. And it's not only about the students, but also the teachers as well. So culture naman, let us talk about culture now. So culture is a broad and encompassing concept. Perhaps if you are thinking about culture, you might think na, is it about race or is it about ethnic? Pag ba sinabing Bajau, you are talking about culture. Pag ba sinabing Aintas, are you talking about culture? So that's why it is stated here that often we equate culture with race or ethnic identity, but that is not always the case. So there are a lot of things concerning about culture. So culture refers to characteristics of the individual, society, or of some groups with the society. So it includes values, beliefs, notions about acceptable and unacceptable behavior, and other socially constructed ideas that members of the culture are taught through. No, our religion is also part of the culture. Your gender preference is also part of culture. And there are even socioeconomic status could also be part of the culture, because these are all these can influence the values, the beliefs of one individual, which are part of the culture itself. So it is also defined as the shared products of a human group of society. And these shared products are often transferred from one generation to the other. So, di ba, yung mga examples like yung Filipino hospitality, no? So, though itinuturo naman sa mga school, but these are actually part of the culture na ipinapasa ng mga magulang natin sa atin, no? Kung gaano sila mag-estima ng mga bisita, di ba? Yan yung mga tipong pag may mga piyesta, no, kahit hindi ka kilala, di ba? Mga unang-unang panahon na. Ngayon kasi kakatakot magpatuloy ng hindi mo kakilala, no? Well, of course, lalo na ngayong pandemic, even kakilala, bawal patuloy yan. But yung pagmamano, di ba? Ngayon, well, ano naman ngayon, no? Since it is pandemic, medyo hindi yun nasusunod. But still, these are all parts of our culture. So the sociology of culture shows that our way of thinking and categorizing our hopes and fears, our likes and dislikes, and our beliefs and habits are social creations, strongly influenced by the time and place in which we live. Even so, culture does not dictate thoughts and behavior. It leaves room for action. So you can see here the connections between um, social, no, and culture, between this sociology of culture and the culture itself. No, so our hopes and fears, our likes and dislikes, our beliefs and habits. Now, if you are going to apply this in your teaching and learning processes, well, if you have 50 individuals, you have 50 students, then therefore you have 50 um, different individuals with different cultures and beliefs. So they have their own likes and dislikes, they have their own hopes and fears, they have their own beliefs and habits that you have to deal with. So just imagine the kind of adjustments that we should do with our students. So each culture is different because it is adapted to meet a specific set of conditions, both physical and social, factors help shape a particular culture. So, in short, culture governs how we think and feel. It shapes our beliefs about what is important in life and our interpretation of what events mean. Well, If you're teaching, no, even if you will be teaching in the city, you will encounter different cultures. No, so based on my personal experience, um, you may encounter different ethnicity. You may encounter Mangyan, you may encounter Aitas, Bajau, Tausug, and other with different beliefs. Now, the question there is, how are you going to deal with them? Another one is that even you, there most likely, no, you will encounter um, different kinds of culture. Setting aside the ethnicity, like for example, uh, you may you may have the same kind of ethnicity in the class, but you might encounter different beliefs when it comes with religion, when it comes with politics, when it comes with gender preferences. Okay, so there will come a time that there will be pro-life, pro-LGBTQ, or against them, di ba? So these are all part of culture. Okay, so kaya nga nakalagay dyan, it shapes our beliefs about what is important in life and our interpretations of what events mean. So as our world continues to change, students interact with others with quite different backgrounds from their own, especially in the classroom. And actually, these differences, no, um, inside or outside the classroom, ito yung number one cause of misunderstanding, and misunderstanding can lead to quarrel and can lead to worse than that. Diba? Kaya nga may mga nag-aaway kasi hindi sila nagkakaintindihan. Bakit hindi nagkakaintindihan? Kasi nga magkaiba. Okay? And in the same manner, wala naman talagang taong, alam mo yun, yung exactly alike. Even twins are different from each other. So imagine that, ikaw, iba yung paniniwala mo. And then, yung mga estudyante mo, iba din yung paniniwala nila. And sila, mag-aaway-away sila dahil magkakaiba yung paniniwala nila. Then ikaw na teacher nila, you have to adjust, no? And you have to teach them how to adjust with each other. Hindi mo naman pwedeng sabihin na, magkakaiba kayo ng culture. So, okay lang mag-away-away kayo kasi magkakaiba kayo. Di ba? Hindi naman yun. You will be promoting violence in the room. So, that's why um, there is an you have to highlight the importance of social interactions. So wala naman actually nakukuha sa first time agad eh, di ba? Di ba, during first day of class, nagkakahiyaan, walang gustong maging leader, di ba? Hindi nagkukwentuhan, di ba, tahimik. Usually sa first day of class is ang pinakatahimik at ang pinakamaingay is at the middle hanggang sa maging busy na, tatahimik ka ulit, then maingay ulit bago mag-end of the school year. Okay? Kasi nag-a-adjust pa sa simula. Okay? So, yan. So, the manner in which they respond to others who seem different can have an impact on their success in school. Bakit? Kasi what if matalino yung bata, no? Pero nabully siya kasi iba yung paniniwala niya. 'Di ba? So, nahadlangan agad yung success niya. Where in fact, mataas yung potential na maging successful siya dahil magaling siya, matalino siya. Magaling siya mag-memorize, magaling siya mag-explain. Pero nabully siya dahil iba yung paniniwala niya. Yung mga one good example of this, though ito naman mga isolated cases lang. Halimbawa, yung taga-province tapos nag-aral siya sa city, let's say sa Manila. Magaling, matalino, magaling mag-explain and everything. No? Pero, there's a possibility na mabully. No? Bakit? Let's say, siya ay nanggaling sa hindi naman mataas na antas ng pamumuhay, so mababa yung socio-economic status, then naging scholar sa isang prestigious university sa isang sa Manila, halimbawa lang. No? So there might be a chance na mabuli siya, and that can influence the success, di ba? Baka maging siya, baka Instead na sumagot siya kasi may punto, nalalait yung punto niya, yung accent, di ba? Dialect niya, paniniwala niya. So this can affect, no, the success in the school. So work in harmonious relationship with others. So hindi lang naman to actually sa school, but this may also happen in in the workplace, or even in even in getting a good relationship with other people, 'di ba? Let's say uh, in a certain workplace, may nagpakain, no? Pero ang inihain dinuguan, 'di ba? So there are people, no, na may mga paniniwala na bawal silang kumain nun, na hindi sila kumakain nun, 'di ba? Yung sa iba naman, okay lang naman sila na kumain. But again, this can influence, no, the relationship with other people, and as well as the success in a certain workplace or school. So if they take time and make the effort to understand these differences, they may develop better relationships and succeed academically. So how can you help them to understand these differences? Hindi mo naman pwedeng ipilit na, ay, maniwala ka dyan. O sige, ah, hindi ka kumakain yan, di ba? O edi wag, di ba? Mga ganong bagay. So, hindi yan agad nakukuha in the first day. Okay? So, you have to help them understand these differences. Okay? And that's the importance of um, collaborative activity. No, this is the importance why you should give more activities wherein there will be social interactions. Kasi itong mga pinag-uusapan natin na to, they can develop this by social interactions. So hindi naman yun madidevelop ng nagpapa-essay ka, no, na solo lang gumagawa, di ba? Hindi naman yan mangyayari na ganun. Kailangan, there will be social interactions. So let us talk now about social development theory. So it was proposed by Vygotsky. He was born in Russia in 1896. So his work began with when he was studying learning and development to improve his own teaching. He was a Russian psychologist who lived during Russian Revolution. So his work was largely unknown to the West until it was published in 1962. Okay, so matagal na 'to nangyari, no? Tagal ng patay ang mga pinag-uusapan natin, but their contributions, no, in the field of psychology and education is well noted, no? Napakaganda ng kanilang mga ipinaliwanag, which can help us in understanding or in dealing with our learners. So in his lifetime, he wrote on language thought, psychology of art, learning and development, and educating students with special needs. So noon pa naman, no, yung mga students with special needs, ito yung mga special, no, na tinatawag, but you do not just call them special, but you call them as learners with special needs. Vygotsky's ideas about language, culture, and cognitive development have become major influences in psychology and education today. So let us find out why. So that is actually the social development theory. So it argues that social interaction precedes development. Consciousness and cognition are the end product of socialization and social behavior. So bata pa man yung learner, kikita na natin yung yung kanyang social interaction, 'di ba? Paano natuto ng first language yung bata, 'di ba? Dahil nadinig niya from other people, sa nanay niya, sa tatay niya, sa guardian niya, kung sino man nag-aalaga sa kanya. Yung mga mannerism, nakukuha din yan doon sa mga nakikita niya. And yung mga modern children nowadays, no, aside from the modeling from the adults, they can also learn a lot from the internet by watching videos, by watching YouTube. Magugulat ka na lang minsan naging English na agad yung bata, wala naman nagtuturo sa kanya. So kasi nga, there is a virtual social interaction. So yun na yun eh, di ba? Yung social interaction kasi na sinasabi dito, when people interact with one another. Kaya lang, since ngayong mga panahon na to, we are living in a virtual world. We cannot stop people no, from um, watching videos, and from there they can be able to interact with one another. So these are the three major themes of social development theory. First is social interaction, more knowledgeable other, or MKO, and the zone of proximal development, or the ZPD. So let us talk about social interaction. So it plays a fundamental role in the process of cognitive development. So cognitive development is the development of our mind, no? So social learning precedes development. So as you can see here, kitang-kita na natin, no, the importance of social interaction. So we can understand people na yung mga mahiyain, no, na perhaps during their development, hindi masyado nagkaroon ng social interaction. You may also ask yourself, no, mahiyain ka ba? Okay? Mababa ba yung self-esteem mo? Ayaw mo bang ini-express yung opinion mo? Hindi mo ba kaya magtaas ng kamay kapag may class participation? Alam mo ba yung tamang sagot pero hindi mo siya ma-voice out? So these are all difficulties na normal na na-experience ng lahat ng tao. No, even yung mga akala mo ang gagaling, yung mga magagaling magsalita, yung mga teachers or mga even yung mga salesman na magagaling magsalita, no, yung mga tipong hindi ka naman bibili talaga. Pero pag na-sales to ka na, bigla kang nabudol, napabili ka bigla, di ba? Lahat yung mga yan, no, yung mga magagaling magsalita na yan, yung parang ang taas-taas ng self-confidence nila. Lahat yan dumaan sa pagiging mahiyain, no? Lahat yan dumaan sa pagiging hindi nagsasalita kaagad, nahihiya. But all this can be overcome because of social interaction. So it's not too late for you, no? Learn how to interact with other people. Makipag-usap ka lalo na kayo no magiging teachers kayo. So hindi pwede na mahiyain ka, hindi pwede na hindi ka nagsasalita, hindi pwede na pag tinanong ka nakangiti ka lang, ganyan ka lang, di ba? So kailangan mo magsalita, kailangan makipag-interact ka with other people. Because hindi lang yan dahil that's part of your future job, but it is part of your development as a human person. So let us talk about MKO, or the more knowledgeable other. So refers to anyone who has a better understanding or a higher ability than the learner. So with respect to a particular task, process, or concept. So itong mga MKO na to is anyone na mas magaling doon sa learner mo. Okay? So kung ikaw yung kung ikaw yung learner, it is anyone na mas magaling sa'yo. Okay? So, well, of course, we have to accept the fact na may mas magaling naman talaga sa atin. No, halimbawa, um, ang topic is about speech, di ba? So, hindi ka ganun kagaling magsalita. So, yung MKO mo, yung mas magaling sa'yo na magsalita. It could be the teacher, it could be your peers, or kung sino man. So, normally though, of us being a teacher, no, coach or older adult. But the MKO could also be peers, a younger, or even a computer. So yung sa modern times, ang MKO ay pwede na din na computer kasi search mo kay Google. So alam naman niya lahat, di ba? So, but normally, it is thought to be as the teacher, your coach, your older adult. No? But it could also be your peers, no? Yung mga nag-excel mo ng mga kaklase could also be your MKO. Now, what is the importance of the MKO? So the MKO can help you to become better. Okay? So yung pagdating dun sa mga learners mo someday, when you group them, make sure na may MKO doon. Ibig sabihin, siya yung nag-stand out among the group because the MKO can help the entire group. It can help also each member of the group to become better. Diba? paano ka magiging magaling halimbawa sa isang task? Let's say, gusto mo maging magaling sa badminton. Well, of course, you have to practice. O sino ang kaano mo? Sino ang kamatch mo lagi sa badminton? Di ba? Yung mga lumalaban ng yung mga lumalaban ng mga tournament, ang kalaban nila syempre yung coach nila. So yung coach nila mas magaling sa kanila. Or yung iba dumadayo sa mga magagandang court na may mga magagaling na player tapos nagmo-match na lang sila. Naglalaban na lang sila, no? So, magiging magaling ka lang or magiging magaling lang yung learner mo kapag merong MKO sa tabi niya. Okay? Magiging magaling ka na player sa isang sports kung ang kinakalaban mo ay mas magaling sa'yo. Okay? Pag ang kinakalaban mo ay mas mahina sa'yo, ang gagaling ay yung kalaban mo at hindi ikaw. Kasi hindi ka na mag-aspire to become better. Kasi alam mo na kaya-kaya mo siyang talunin. Okay, so same thing with learning. No? MKO could help the learners to become better. So the zone of proximal development. So the distance between the student's ability to perform a task under an adult or guidance and or peer collaboration and the student's ability solving the problem independently. So according to Vygotsky, learning occurred in this zone. So ito yung tinatawag natin na CPD. Okay, so it is the distance between your learner or di kaya and then ability to perform a task under adult guidance, no, or with the guide of the teacher. And then yung student's ability to solve that independently. So ito ikaw dito sa left side, ito ikaw na kailangan ng supervision para magawa mo yung task. Dito naman sa kabila ay yung ikaw na kaya mong gawin yung task na walang supervision. Yung pagitan nitong dalawang to, this is the zone of proximal development. Dito nagaganap yung learning. Bakit? Dito unti-unti kang matututo. Up to the time na wala na nag-guide sa'yo. Parang ganito lang. In order for you to drive a car, kailangan mo mag-practice. Diba? So ikaw, na kailangan mo ng kasama. No? Ito yung, pag nagda-driving academy kasi, ito kasi yung pinakang bagong utos ng LTO, hindi pwedeng walang driving academy para makakuha ka ng lisensya. So ito ikaw, with your driving instructor, ito ikaw, no, na nakakapag-drive na ng solo na walang kasama, lisensyado. So itong pagitan nito, nandito yung magpapractice ka mag-drive, kukuha ka ng exam, kukuha ka ng lisensya, hanggang sa maka-drive ka na ng solo. Okay? So ganun yun yung context nun. No? Halimbawa naman, learning how to dance. Ito ikaw na kailangan ng manood pa sa YouTube ng dance, no? Step by step. Ito ikaw na nakakapagsayaw na ng solo. In between is the CPD. Dito ka natuto na magsayaw ng solo. Walang kasama, walang tinginan. So same thing with any learning. No? Perhaps, isipin mo, natutunan ko naman to ng solo. Pero, tumingin ka naman sa YouTube. Di ba? Yun ang uso ngayon. Okay? Yung pagti-TikTok, di ba? Sa simula, nakatingin ka dun sa video, ginagaya mo. Pero pag nag-actual video ka na, camera na lang yung gamit mo, wala ka nang tinitingnan. Diba? So there is the zone of proximal development. Okay? So let's talk about scaffolding. So it is a teaching method that helps students learn more by working with a teacher or more advanced student to achieve their learning goals. So scaffolding yung term na ginagamit natin. Okay? So scaffolding, it is a teaching method. No? Kung familiar kayo dun sa yung scaffolding na ginagamit kapag pag may ginagawang building, yung bang mga tubo sa labas na tinatapakan ng mga manggagawa para makakit sa taas, maglagay ng hollow blocks, magpintura. Scaffolding ang tawag doon. So yung principle ng scaffolding na yun, ito din yun. Kaya ang term na ginamit is scaffolding. Bakit? Kasi yun, para maiangat mo hanggang kataas-taasan, In Inuunti-unti, sinisimulan muna sa baba, nilalagyan ng tubo, papatungan ng another tubo hanggang sa tumaas ng tumaas, hanggang sa ma-achieve yung pinakataas. So ganun din na scaffolding, no? Using the explanation of Vygotsky. Bit by bit, small pieces lang muna hanggang sa ma-attain na yung pinakang advanced knowledge. Okay? So, in scaffolding, there will be MKO. No, it could be the teacher or it could be an advanced student that can help the learners to achieve their learning goal. So students learn more when collaborating with others who have a wider range of skills and knowledge than the student currently does. So, kaya understandable ha, di ba? For sure kayo, na-experience nyo na ba't ang groupings na yung mga groupings na napupuntahan nyo ay laging mix yan. No? Kung ikaw yung MKO, edi ikaw yung magaling, di ba? And you have to accept din na merong member ka na ang tamad, medyo hindi nag-iintindi, hindi nakakaintindi, merong sakto lang, di ba? Di ba? Usually ganun yun. Pero may dahilan kung bakit ganun yung groupings. Ito yon yung scaffolding. Isa ito sa mga dahilan. Because these instructors or peers are the scaffolding who help the student expand her or their learning boundaries and learn more than she would be able to on her own. So, ganun siya, no? Yung mga MKO, sila yung scaffolding. Ito yung tutulong dun sa learners. Kaya, huwag kang mag-groupings ng ano. Yun din yung ano, yung mahirap sa groupings na hindi pinaghandaan. Yung pinabilang lang. Let's say, okay, count number 1 to 5. O, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wala kang 1 sama-sama. Paano kung lahat ng mataon, no? Hindi naman natin kontrolado. Mataon na yung napunta dun sa group ay lahat magagaling. Diba? Yung isa naman sa group, lahat may hina. So, walang scaffolding, di ba? So, kaya pinakamaganda, you arrange them according to the, let's say, average sa card, no? Um, Average kung saan man, sa grades, yan, dapat ganun. No? Para at least, ito may isang line of 9, isang may line of 8, then may line of 7, di ba? Sama-sama sila doon. So, may isang maging stand out. And then yung mga members niya will look after the MKO. No? So, si MKO yung magpo-provide ng scaffolding. Okay? So, as a learner, become more proficient, able to complete tasks on their own that they could not initially do without assistance. The guidance can be withdrawn. This is called the scaffold and fade away technique. O halimbawa, okay na, di ba? O change ka na uli ng groupings kasi successful na eh. So, yun. So, yun yung purpose nun. Hindi naman forever na MKO siya doon eh. Kasi scaffolding nga siya. So, step by step. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga estudyante, expected na sila na dapat matututo sila upon scaffolding. And then, pag okay na sila, then rearrange ulit. Tingnan mo ulit kung sino mas kailangan ng need. So, at the end of the school year, or at the end of the period, lahat natuto. Okay, nangiangat mo yung mga nasa ilalim. You might ask, paano naman yung mga magagaling? Paano naman sila matututo? You have to remember this. Yung saying na you cannot give something that you do not have. So meaning to say that these students can guide their classmates because they learned the competencies already. So natuto na sila by sharing with others. Yun yung way of expressing their ideas. Okay? So if a student can explain a certain concept on their own, di ba ganun naman pag peer learning, ini-explain nung peer dun sa isang learner yung lesson using their own language. Hindi naman niya babasahin kung ano yung binasa ng teacher, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, kung kaya niya na niyang ipaliwanag yun on their own language, natutunan na niya yung concept. And lalo pa yung matututunan by explaining it with other people. So, when done appropriately, can make a learner confident and eventually he can accomplish the task without any need for assistance. Di ba? Yung sa mga elementary, pupils, yung mga nagsisimula pa lang magsulat, di ba? Ginaguide ng teacher yung kamay para maisulat, or may dotted lines na pinakang guide hanggang sa masanay na yung kamay. So wala nang assistance sa susunod, di ba? So yun. So ganun lang siya. So hangga't hindi niya kaya, there will be an assistance. Pag kaya na niya, aalisin na yung unti-unti. Okay? So yun. A very good example. Actually, ang daming pwede kang ibigay na for scaffolding eh. One good example din yan, yung mga guide na yun, no? Yung sa bisikleta, di ba? Sa simula, yung mga bata na nagsisimula pa lang mag-bike, may dalawang gulong sa tigkabilang side. So, balit, ang gulong sa likodan ng bisikleta, tatlo, kasi isa sa una. Pang-balance niya kasi yun. So, ang gagawin yan nung magulang or nung sino man, hindi alam, iaangat na yung gulong unti-unti, yung dalawa at tigkabilang, hanggang sa matuto na siya mag-balance. So, hindi niya hanggang sa ma-discover na niya na, nakakapag-bike na pala ako nang walang assistance dun sa likod. Okay? So, yan. So, let's talk about language. So, sabi natin kanina, for individual to interact with other people, kailangan nila ng communication. And communication can be done by a language. It could be sign language kung hindi nakakapagsalita, or with vocal. No? So, open the door for learners to acquire knowledge that others already have. Matututo ka dahil nagtatanong ka. Matututo ka because you are talking with other people. Okay? So, may mga late bloomer naman. Di ba? May mga tao kasi na hindi masalita ngayon dahil nahihiya sila. Pero time will come, I'm telling you. Lalo na kayo, you'll be teachers. Time will come na kailangan mo talaga magsalita and madedevelop yan. So ngayon pa lang, no, practice na magsalita. Okay? Practice na makipag-interact with other people. Though it is a challenge for during this pandemic, but I know that you can do it. So learners can use language to know and understand the world and solve problems. O, diba? It is because of the language. So what's the individual function of language? So it helps the learner regulate and reflect on his own thinking. Yeah. Because we can talk to ourselves, no? You can ask yourself, oh, what did you learn today? Can you tell what did you learn today? Di ba? Mga ganun. So that's self-reflection. And isa sa mga napaka-evident, no, is when children talk to themselves. Di ba? Mapapansin mo yung mga batang maliliit, mga toddlers, they talk to themselves. Okay ka lang ba? Are you okay? Are you okay? Ganyan. And then, for Vygotsky, this talking to oneself is an indication of the thinking that goes on the mind of the child. So this will eventually lead to private speech. So yung mga adults, syempre, we have our own private speech. Hindi mo na kailangang timikin, but yung utak mo, kinakausap yung sarili mo. Diba? Pero yung mga bata, hindi pa nila kaya yun. But the start of that is when they are talking to themselves. The private speech naman is a form of self-talk that guides the child's thinking and action. So Vygotsky believed in the essential role of activities in learning. Children learn best through hands-on activities than when listening passively. Learning by doing is even more fruitful when children interact with knowledgeable adults and peers. So ito na yung binanggit ko kanina, no? That's why then, when you talk to toddlers, yung mga hindi pa malinaw magsalita, make sure that you are talking to them in your full language. So ibig sabihin, wag kang magsalita parang bata din. Kasi hindi nila matututunan yung tamang salita kung hindi mo sila kinakausap ng tamang salita. Okay? So, also, you have to make sure na you stop giving symbols, no, sa mga bagay-bagay like yung sa mga body parts, di ba? Let's say yung bird, yung kanilang sex organ, tatawagin yung bird, tatawagin yung flowers. It may just create confusion, no? So make sure that you are giving them the right knowledge, the right information. So what now is the application of the Vygotsky's social development theory? So promotes learning context in which students play an active role in learning. The role of the teachers and students shifted as a teacher should collaborate with his or her students in order to facilitate meaning construction in students, and learning become reciprocal experience for the students and teachers. So ito yung significance nun, no? Since we are talking about learner-centered teaching, you can notice that Vygotsky's social development theory back up the learner-centered teaching, because there is collaboration in teaching learning, learner-centered teaching. There is collaboration, and mostly, not mostly, but entirely, the students are the ones doing the learning activities, and the teachers facilitate it. Okay, so these are the applications of Vygotsky's social development theory. So thank you so much for watching this video. No, so this will be our references. So thank you so much.